Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Harlem Stories Today. I am your host, China Soul, and we have some fascinating guests that are actual New Yorkers from Harlem, New York, that own businesses here in Harlem, New York. Our first guest is Sivan Baron, and she is the owner of Yatanga French Bistro, as well as, probably many of you know, the very, very famous and very popular Shrine music venue. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And next to her, we also have another Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard business owner in Harlem, New York. And he owns a fabulous boutique with his own line of apparel called Oyama. Welcome, Mr. Oyama.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming to the show today. We are going to roll in some clips for you to see and learn a little bit about who these wonderful people are and about their businesses here in New York City. Thank you.
We had a few people together as a group in Israel. I came to New York and finished my school, to meet people, to get exposed to other culture. And for architecture, for us is amazing because in the city, everywhere you go, is you have one building prototype of this and then another prototype of something else, all the new together. That's a lot of development, a lot of changes, very rapidly changes that you can see in the development of the city, which you cannot see it anywhere else. You see, like, for example, I used to live in the Lower East Side 11 years ago. If you see it now, you see such advanced changes. I finished my school and I started working as an architect, and as the recession hit us, it hit really bad, the architects, so I had to lose my job for now. This gave us opportunity to open this place as well. That my husband and I own the other place, Shrine, and now we open Yatanga, this beautiful place, the French Bistro, which we opened at the end of January. 6 years ago, my husband today, which was my boyfriend before, he used to live in Harlem. He's from Burkina Faso, West Africa, which I never knew about this country before. Because actually my husband is a musician too, and all this vision of bringing to Harlem. 3 years ago, 3.5 ago, was only places you can hear jazz, nothing else, only jazz. Or there are some gospel music, obviously, in the churches, but there was no like rock and roll. There was no funk or punk or pop music or Latin music. And his idea was to bring to Harlem, actually to shock the people in Harlem and to get them other kind of music. And to bring people from downtown to here, not opposite. Usually you go out, you go downtown. No, we wanted to bring people over here. Shrine, it's a music venue. So you really see the difference. You see really a melting pot, which is hard to see in other places, which the music bring them all together. Most of the job we did ourselves. My husband is very like work-oriented. We both of us, we design it together, and I'm an architect also, so it helped us a lot to do all the paperwork and the city development. But everything we made, especially the other side and here too, it's from material that, raw material, like it used to be beams, all the bar over there and the table here, it's a beams that either been used before in other places, so we try to recycle them and give them another state. Those figures are from Burkina Faso, the one on top, So to bring our own experience, our own history and future to this place. And those two places are kind of yin and yang. That's what I like, it has to come together because over there you listen to music, you cannot really talk, you cannot really have a sit down and conversation. No, you come to enjoy, you come to listen to the music, to drink, and then you can come here to have a dinner quiet and relax.
Well, that's fascinating. I mean, you're an architect, so you're an entrepreneur. You started with the businesses you had inside of Harlem. Mm-hmm. You were the actual architect. Were you the design as well of the entire space?
Yes, we started, Shrine was actually Black United Foundation Plaza. It was an office before. We had to take everything out and start from the beginning. And we actually left the Black United Fun Plaza. We took the D out to make it fun. And we designed everything from the beginning.
So I mean, that comes in so handy.
Yeah,
so,
very helpful.
I'm fascinated with your beginnings, meeting with your husband. You know, you said you were from the Lower East Side. You come up to Harlem, New York. Did you meet him? How did you meet? That's interesting.
We used to work at the French bistro downtown in the Lower East Side. And so that's how we got experience in running businesses as a restaurant before, from the kitchen side of it, from the management side of it. I used to do a bartender, a waiter, a bookkeeper. So it's really helpful. When I never thought we are going to open a restaurant, but you know, life changing and rolling, and that's how we are right now.
And one day, did you say to each other, hey, you know, with all our experience and all our, like you said, you wore so many hats between your husband, and he's a musician as well, is that correct?
He's a musician, and back in Burkina, he had also a radio show, and he used to manage performers from one country to the other also. So it was always his passion.
So one day, did you just brainstorm with each other and say, you know what, let's open up a music venue, let's open up a restaurant. What came actually first, the Tango Bistro?
No, Shrine came 3.5 years ago.
Okay.
I was the first one, same as my daughter. We do it together, kind of.
Your daughter, wait a second, you have a daughter?
My daughter is almost 4 years old, as the restaurant.
It's the same, okay, gotcha, all right, got it.
And then Yatenga, the French bistro, also came after I had my son. So it's kind of 4 children in the house. Yeah.
Wow. Could you imagine? Okay, so you have little ones. Here you start the Shrine Music Venue, which is now the most popular music venue that there is aside from Harlem, in New York. Shrine does live music. They have all different types of acts. And I also know that you introduce from DJs all the way into live Caribbean music. To share with me a little bit more the different types of music.
We start at 6 p.m. every day. We have 4 or 5 bands every night. And then later on, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we have DJ until 4 a.m. It starts with a low beat, like jazz or classical music, and then as the time goes, it goes more beat.
Okay, okay. So I didn't. Okay, I got that. So moving forward into, I just want to move into the Ma-Africa Music Festival that you have going on.
Yeah, Ma-Africa Music Festival, it's held every first Sunday at June.
Okay.
It started in 2006 in Marcus Garvey Park. It's a free music festival to introduce to all everybody's free music festival. We have volunteers. The bands are also volunteers. It's a mix of food, the culture to bring to the neighborhood.
Oh, that's fabulous. And is there a fee, or how does it all work?
No, it's a free, it's a donation if you want to.
Oh, very nice. So it's a free festival, but if you want to offer a donation to the businesses and support your local businesses, that sounds great. Well, I love it. I love the whole sound of it. That's fabulous.
Beautiful.
I believe that we are going to now introduce a clip of the Oyama. So let's do the rolling.
The Oyama is located between 136 and 137 on Adam Clayton Park Boulevard in Harlem. I remember my first client. I can only remember him because he was my neighbor next door, Mr. John Joyce. So as soon as I opened the shop, he was the one who came in and bought a shirt because he wants to be #1. I grew up in Gabon, where I'm from, and my granddaddy was a tailor, so I started learning from him when I was back home, being in touch with the trade, and I started learning a couple of, how to match color, the different fabric. After high school, I went to France to study in Paris. I came to New York in 1997. To be exact, February 15, 1997, yes. That's where I came to New York to go back to school. American Institute of Banking at Mercy College, where I did my master's degree in banking management. My idea was just to come study, get my master's degree, and go back to Paris. I got stuck, like everybody that come here in New York. I fell in love with New York, with everything New York offers. You know, the speed, the quality of the people, you know, the business sense, that was the attraction, you know. So I came after school, I graduated in 2002. After 2002, I started working in a different bank. I started working at the European American Bank, which was bought by Citibank after that, and then moved to another bank, which was Norfolk Bank. And from Norfolk Bank, I moved to Fleet Bank. Fleet Bank was bought by Bank of America in 2003. So after that, I said, okay, I think I've been done my part, I've done my share, I've done, you know, all that I need to do, you know, to get experience in banking, in financing. And I said, okay, I'm getting a little bit tired. I need, as my spirit is an entrepreneur, I like to do things, I like to be my own boss. So I said, let me go back to my passion, which is clothing, design clothing, make people look good, dress successful people. I said, I'm going to open up a shop. So I started talking to different friends of mine, and one of my good friends used to own a shop, a shoes shop on 135th. He's a shoe designer. His name is E2 Events, a great friend of mine. So we start talking. He said, Bernard, yeah, why don't you, instead of looking at the location downtown, why don't you look here in Harlem? So he showed me a couple of locations in 125th, on Lenox Avenue. I said, okay, all of that is good, but I want to be on 7th Avenue. Even though it's far from 125th, where we have a lot of foot traffic, I said, I'm going to stick on 7th Avenue because that was the avenue where great gentlemen used to dress every day, going to a club, going to a church, and that brings back the memories of the Harlem Renaissance era, where gentlemen used to dress and nicely and walk down on 7th Avenue. So, yeah.
We're tuning into Harlem Stories Today, and the gentleman that you've just seen featured is Mr. B. Oyama. Bernard Oyama from B. Oyama Boutique here in Harlem. Welcome. Thank you for coming today. That was a fascinating clip. You have a store here on, is it on Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard or is it on 7th Avenue?
It's Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard, but it's called 7th Avenue. When you come from downtown, at a certain point after the park, I believe it changed to Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard. So it's 7th Avenue, yes.
I gotcha. And what kind of clientele do you have coming through to your store?
I have quite a broad of clientele. I have from Wall Street executive to music producer to artist to everyday man that wants to look good and sharp. So I have quite a range of clients. I got a couple of star like Neo, Common, I have Malik Yoba, I have executive that work in Wall Street, so I have quite a broad range of clients.
Wow, so you dress celebrities, you are a celebrity dresser.
Well, we can call it that way, but you know, I like to dress successful people.
Absolutely.
So yes.
Yes. And for the most part, I mean, learning about your journey and watching the clip that we just watched, it's always interesting to see somebody like yourself who comes here from another land and has a vision and has a dream and actually makes it happen. So you also manufacture your own apparel line. That's your own design as well.
Yes.
Do you have a group of designers that work for you?
I'm the main designer. I'm a creative director. I don't like to call myself designer. I like to be creative director. So yes, I create everything that is on the clip, from the suit to the shirt to the accessories. All of those are my creation. B. Oyama is an established brand, menswear brand. So everything I do in there and I sell is just a creation of B. Oyama.
Just from what we've seen from the clips, your style and the fabrics look so rich, and the colors are just dynamite.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yes, we do our production in Italy. So most of the items that was featured in the clip are made in Italy. We do some suit in Napoli, in the south of Italy. We do ties, shirt in Milan. So all of those are made in Italy. And the idea is to keep that quality, the sense of quality clothing. And that's why we're keeping that, craftsmanship and get everything done in Italy so that we can offer, people in Harlem and every client that come into the shop quality clothing. The idea was to bring back the quality clothing to Harlem. That was the main reason. So that's why you see everything there look sharp and glamorous.
So with your vision, you had an apparent distinct vision of what you desired for your business to come to as to where it is today. Was there a little bit of a difficulty along your journey to get to where your business is today?
There is always a challenge in creating a business. Yes, there was a couple of challenges, but mainly was, trying to convince people that, you don't have to go downtown to get quality clothing. We can offer you quality clothing over here, so you don't have to go all the way downtown to find, a best shirt, best suit, or best tie. So that was the idea, and we've been working very hard to convince people that, it's great, to go downtown and purchase, but we're offering you the best over here so that you don't have to go downtown. So that is the main idea and the focus of our everyday operation.
And as far as the space itself, because one of our guests here is an architect, were you the actual architect or were you the designer of your actual space of the boutique in Harlem?
No, I did design, because you have design for different type of business. So that was a merchandise designer specialized in men clothing. So he's a teacher at FIT. I think, Reggie Rogers, that's his name. We hired him so that he can come up with a concept. Of course, I gave him all the idea and he put them together. Yeah, so it was well designed and I give him credit for that.
At Harlem Stories Today, we're always trying to learn how businesses are successful and how they made their way in their journey to get to where they are today. And I'm just so excited that we have two entrepreneurs that are in Harlem, New York, have very successful businesses. And it's fascinating to listen to your story, see how you both got started. But I have a very particular question I would like to ask the both of you. Harlem has come through some changes through the years now. And what is going on right now is go ahead, finish the word.
Regeneration.
Yes, and regentrification. What's happening, there's so much change that is going on. What are the both of your feelings? First, I would like to hear from you about your feelings of what's going on in Harlem and the changes that are being made.
I think there's a lot of opportunity right now for developers, either in architecture or any small businesses that are new opening. First, the neighborhood change. There's a lot of new people coming, young people, professionals that come from downtown or from everywhere else that are finding better quality of living in Harlem, which is like better, bigger sidewalks, a lot of parks, new buildings, bigger apartments, and there's always better quality.
Do you think, due to the recent recession that we have all been exposed to and been a partner of, do you feel that now Harlem perhaps is broadening? Are more people coming in now taking businesses because perhaps the rent is better for them or it's more reasonably priced?
I think in general, I feel there's a little bit of new beginning after the recession in general. Harlem itself, I see every day that I walk and I bring my kids to school, I see, there's a new bar, there's a new restaurant, there's a new clothing place open, and it's beautiful to see that our actually neighborhood developed.
So you feel perhaps due to the recession that gave more people opportunity to be able to afford to build an establishment, create some roots in Harlem.
Right.
Definitely that's good. The recession has brought a couple of advantage and disadvantage because some business that could not handle recession has closed down. But at the same time, it creates different opportunities for people who want to invest that has been coming in Harlem, because the rent is a little bit lower compared to the 3 past years. So this is a great opportunity for anybody who wants to invest in Harlem, open up a shop, open up a restaurant, or any type of business to come to Harlem, because the rent now is a little bit less compared to the high price that was going on in the past 3 years. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for anybody who has some cash and wants to get involved in business. Yeah, to find great location at a great price in Harlem.
So Harlem is the place to be if you want to start a new business, you want to take an old business downtown, you feel like perhaps it's not working for you, and bring it up to Harlem, because Harlem is, I feel like it's gone through a different world in a sense where back in the day you had the Cotton Club and it was such a fresh, beautiful place to be. And then just like any location or any neighborhood, it goes through its swings and changes. And right now it's the place to be in New York.
It's the right place to be. And I invite everybody to come in and check it out. You know, you got a great bar, you got a great store, and especially on 7th Avenue, that used to be the best place in New York City, you know, where all the gentlemen, all the club used to be. You know, people were just walking through on 7th Avenue with their hats, their suit, you know, they were well-dressed people back then. Ladies and gentlemen, it was just great. And I believe that's what we're doing right there in Harlem.
Creating I think that's what you're doing. You're bringing it right back.
Yes, indeed. At the same time, you know,
Oyama.
Yes, the Oyama has been there doing its part, and you know, we've been successful doing that. And I believe once the recession is over, we're gonna see some, you know, new activities, some new people coming in, because we have quite a lot of different people, mixed people coming in. We got different ethnic group moving in Harlem. So it's wonderful. You know, you can see the vibe. You can see the vibe in Harlem.
And how do you feel about there's certain types of businesses as well, as far as like the major, because you're basically mom and pop shops still on a certain level, but then you have the big establishments that are coming in. And I know there's been a little bit of a controversy and perhaps not so much appreciation of coming into Harlem of these big stores. How do you both feel? Do you think that will help the small businesses, or do you feel that will deter and take away from the small businesses?
I think it's going to help. Any kind of development that comes, either large or small, is going to help to make the streets cleaner, nicer. And as many people are coming in, it helps us also. There's a fluent of people on the street. So if, for example, in cross of the street of us, somebody's going to open another French bistro, we'll be happy. Not necessarily be, it's not a competition. It's going to bring more people on the street. It's going to make it more live.
That's right.
One day they're going to come to me, one day they're going to come to them.
It gives more opportunity for more businesses to be more successful.
Yeah, and also to bring a new crowd of people. Like right now, they open up Costco on the east side, on 116, Marshall. I mean, you know, a lot of stores coming in, and those stores attract people because those are big brand names that people know about, and people follow those brands. So those are new clients, new people, new opportunities for us who are already established right there in Harlem.
There's a big hotel opening in 124th Street.
That's right. I just learned about that big hotel. I'm curious to be who the first guests will be in that hotel. I actually put that on Twitter. I was like, who do you think the first guests are going to be in this new Harlem hotel? Because that's very exciting. Actually, there hasn't been a hotel in Harlem for, do you know how long? In over 60 years.
Yeah, it's been
There's
a
lot
long
of bed and breakfast, a lot of tourists, Japanese, French. I see them also at Shrine and Yatenga that are coming. The people come to the gospel. It's a tourist, and instead of coming to the tour and going back downtown, they can stay and enjoy Harlem.
Absolutely.
It's very important.
And do you, Mr. Oyama, I love that your name rhymes with Obama.
Yes. Nowadays, they call me Obama.
They call you Obama. Mr. Oyama, do you see your store going into more stores in the future?
Oh, yes. We have a short-term plan, long-term plan. Short-term plan will be to open up our online store. And future plan, once the recession is over, will be to open the store in the Meatpacking District or on Madison Avenue.
And
so we're looking for different investors who can invest in our business to grow.
And what about your brand? Is your brand, I know you sell your brand in your store, is your brand also available in other stores?
We're working on the plan to have our brands, you know, it's sold in a different store. We're looking at different store, major retail store like Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Bergdorf Goodman. So those are, we're working on a plan, but those require to have quite capital so that you can fulfill those orders once it's in. So we're working on that as well.
And what about for yourself, just because we're wrapping up the show, so I just want to know basically, what about you? Do you have future plans of opening Shrine 2, another Yatango, another French Bistro?
Always, always. We're looking for more projects to do, also in the architecture and the design, my side, and also the music and more places.
So you're all looking at it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for tuning in to Harlem Stories Today, and I want to thank our guests, Mr. Oyama, who has B. Oyama on Adam Clayton Boulevard, a great boutique, and right next to me we have the owner of Shrine, as well as Yatango French Bistro, and that is Sivan Baron. So I want to thank both of our guests today, and you can tune in to Harlem Stories Today. I am your host, China Soul. Thank you once again, and enjoy Harlem, New York. See you next time.
Thank you.